Welcome to JMCV Learning Program. Today you are joining with grade 11 English language. Let's see what is the lesson we are going to learn today. It is called For a Better Tomorrow, the fourth lesson of your pupil's book. First we have to discuss an activity, the activity 1. It is an act out, practice this television interview. There is an interview, we have to go through that. This is an act out. Act out means a dialogue or a conversation among few people. So let's go through this and try to understand this conversation. The act out is about a television interview. We know that if there is a television interview, there is a presenter. The presenter is the person who is announcing, who is making the conversation. And there are some people, one person or few people are there, they are making a conversation. The presenter is the person who is giving the questions and who is continuously doing the program. So here we can see a presenter. Presenter says first, good morning. Once again, we join you in your favorite program, For a Better Tomorrow. The name of the interview is For a Better Tomorrow. Our topic today is policing and the environment. The topic of this interview is policing and the environment. To share some valuable ideas on this topic, we have with us one of the eminent environmentalists, famous, popular environmentalist in the country, Mr. Sunil Veerasinghe. So the presenter is making a conversation with this person. He is called Mr. Sunil Veerasinghe. Welcome to the program, Mr. Veerasinghe. So normally when we are starting a program, we are welcoming the people. So the presenter is doing the same thing. Then Mr. Sunil Veerasinghe is starting the conversation. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay. Then they are moving to the next part. The interviewer is discussing like this. As we are well aware, policing has become a major environmental issue. So when we are moving to the part, the act out, we know that they want to talk about environmental issues, major environmental issues. What is the major environmental issue they are talking here? That is about policing. They are talking about policing. We know that policing is a huge problem to the environment. So this conversation is about, or the television interview is about policing and how it effect to the environment. Talking about policing and the environment, what is the biggest problem related to policing? Here they talk about the problems which makes because of the policing. So they talk about the biggest problem. The biggest problem what occurs because of the policing. So this person Sunil Veerasinghe, he says the biggest problem is that most type of policing don't decay. They don't mix up with the environment, they don't mix up with the land, soil. So they don't decay. They accumulate in the environment and that in turn creates many other problems. Because they don't mix up with the environment, they keep for a long period on the ground. That's why the problem occurs. Then interviewer says, I am sure our viewers would like to know about these problems. Could you tell us something about them? So then next they are talking about the problems. Well, it seems that a lot of people have the habit of throwing polythene bags. Throwing polythene bags carelessly and haphazardly into the environment. So that is the first problem or the main problem they are talking about. This often leads to problems like land pollution and land infertility. Land pollution. Because of throwing polythene into the environment, land pollution is occurred. That's the main thing. Not only that, land infertility. That means when we grow something on the ground, the natural, if it is good soil, we can grow them very quickly. But if it is mixed with polythene and chemicals and all, so it's very hard to grow something. The soil is actually not rich in the things what it should be there to grow a plant. So polythene also blocks sewage systems and water sources. So after we are adding all the polythenes and everything, not only the ground, to other places as well. So they can block all the drains and the things what water or other things take here and there. Then another problem is that rainwater collected in polythene bags. So it's a big problem. When we are throwing polythene bags here and there, what happens is when rains, the water collects in the bags. So the water will collect in the bags, and then what is happening? The bags provides breeding ground for mosquitoes. We know that there are many illnesses, many things that happening because of the mosquitoes. So if we throw the bags to the environment, water collects in the bags, and then it leads to breeding grounds for mosquitoes. This is really unfortunate. We will be living in an extremely unhealthy environment if such a situation is to continue. If people used to put polythene again and again to the environment, to the ground, to the land, it leads to a big problem, environmental problem, not in today, in future as well. Interviewer again asking a question, can't we burn polythene instead? More than throwing them to the ground, to the environment, can't we burn that? So what is the answer for that? Unfortunately, that doesn't help much. Burning polythene creates a lot of harmful gases and substances. They are harmful to all living things. So it is harmful than throwing polythene bags into the environment. So it's not good to burn polythene. He described it like that. Then final part, interviewer is saying, how about the effect of polythene on animal life? Now we were talking about human. If the environment is destroyed using polythene, throwing polythene, how it harmful to the people? Not only people, we have to think about animal, because we are the people who are throwing polythene to the environment, but who suffers from that? Mostly the animals suffer from that. Then sadly, a lot of animals die after eating polythene. The animal don't know what is polythene. So what they do normally when we go in a city areas, we see that cows, goats, they used to eat polythenes. Not only them, elephants also. We have seen in many videos, in newspapers, that they used to eat things with polythene. So it is very harmful for animals. So what are your suggestions? Should we stop using polythene? Do we have to stop using polythene? So Mr. Sunil Veerasinghe says, not exactly. I think we should try to minimize the use of polythene. He is not telling to stop use polythene. He is saying we have to minimize using polythene. Taking reusable bags when marketing is a possible way of reducing the use of polythene. We know that we used to go to shops, and when we are buying things, they used to put all the things into shopping bags and give us. So what we can do is, more than collecting many shopping bags while shopping, we can keep our own bag what we can reuse. So that is a good idea to minimize using polythene. Interviewer, reduce, reuse and recycle. So these are some words that we are learning here. Reduce, that means we are not going to use again and again. Mostly we are not using this. Reduce using something is we are not using polythene like we don't have any other thing to put the things. We can do something, we can use something else. So reduce means instead of using polythene, we can use another materials as bags. Reduce that. Minimize using polythene, or reuse, or we can use the polythene bag again and again. More than using one time and throwing to the environment, we can reuse the polythene bags and recycle. If we can recycle them, we can use that as well. We should all think about it. With that thought, we come to the end of our program. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Veerasinghe. So that is the end of the conversation. Sunil Veerasinghe says, thank you for inviting me. Then interviewer says, we hope to meet our viewers next week at the same time. Have a good day. So this is the act out or the conversation given in the lesson. Then here we can see the second activity. Activity 2, match A and B. Here we can see the answers and the questions as well. Most type of polythene do not decay. So that is the first part. Polythene bags are thrown into the environment. Rainwater is collected in polythene bags. Animals eat polythene. Polythene bags are collected in water sources. These comes under part 1, part A. Then when we go to the part B, it causes land pollution. They die because of undigested polythene. Water is polluted. Mosquitoes breed in them. They accumulate in the environment. So these are the answers given. Now we have to match the part B with part A. Part A is given with numbers and part B is given with letters. So when we are writing this, here you can see simple letters are given. So when you are answering such a question in a paper, you have to use exactly what they have given. So we have to write the simple letter in front of the sentence given in part A. So let's go to that. Most types of polythene do not decay. So where it is? They accumulate in the environment. They accumulate in the environment. So these are the two parts what we can join. Then second one, polythene bags are thrown into the environment. It causes land pollution. Simple A. So we can write simple A in front of that. Polythene bags are thrown into the environment. It causes land pollution. So second one is simple A. Rainwater is collected in polythene bags. Then what is happening there? Mosquitoes breed in them. Then rainwater is collected in polythene bags. So what is the answer for that? The next part of that, mosquitoes breed in them. Then that answer is simple D. So we can write it here. Then animals eat polythene. What's happened when animal eats polythene? They die because of undigested polythene. That is the result of that. So the result is simple B. So we can write it here. Then polythene bags are collected in water sources. Then what happens? When polythene bags are collected in water sources, you just imagine if there is a well, if there is a river or a lake, whatever the water resource is, if polythene bags are collected there, what is happening? Then water is polluted, then the answer is C. So that is activity 2. Okay, then we are moving to the other part of that activity. Find the adjectives. Adjectives. You know what is an adjective? Adjective is a word which describes a noun. We can use adjectives to describe a noun. Then we have to find the adjectives. That means the words which used to describe nouns in this paragraph or in this act out. Used in the conversation to describe these words. So here you have to find the adjectives used in the conversation. So you can't write here any other adjectives you know. For the given words, you have to write the adjective which are mentioned in the paragraph, right? Okay, then they have given an example here. Favorite program. Program is the word they have given. So what is the adjective they have used? Favorite. So the next one, problem. The word is problem. What kind of problem occurred because of polythene? Biggest problem. So from this word biggest, it describes about the problem. Then valuable ideas. Ideas. The noun is ideas. About these ideas we describe using the word valuable. Valuable ideas. Then pollution. The word is given pollution. What kind of pollution? You can write land. I have written here land pollution, but you can write different pollution. Air pollution, water pollution. But in this act out, we know that we described about land pollution and water pollution. So one of these two words, one you can use for this. Then the other one, environmentalist. People who are talking about environment, who protects the environment and know more things about the environment, who works towards environment, we call that. Then eminent, a person who is well known as a environmentalist. So environmentalist is the word given, noun given. From eminent, we are describing that. The last one is harmful gases. Gases is a noun here. What kind of gases? It is harmful. So, harmful is the adjective. Now, we are moving to the grammar part of this lesson, grammar part of Unit 4. What do you know about adverbs? Have you ever heard about adverbs or have you ever learned about adverbs? Now, in this lesson, we are learning about adverbs. Let's see what is an adverb. What is an adverb? What is your idea about adverbs? An adverb is a word. It is just a word. An adverb is a word used to modify a verb. We use that to modify a verb or to modify an adjective. It is not only used to describe a verb. In many times we have learned that adverb is a word which is used to describe a verb. But not only a verb, we can describe about any other adjectives as well. So, we can use adverb to modify a verb. Not only that, modify an adjective or another adverb as well. We can use an adverb to describe another adverb or modify another adverb. So, in these three cases, we can use adverbs. Adverbs provide a deeper description of a verb within any sentence. But here, what we are learning today, that adverbs provide a deeper description of a verb. We can give a deeper description about a verb using an adverb. Here is a brief explanation of the meaning of each, has along with example sentences using each type of adverbs. We are not just talking about adverbs. We are going to describe or we are going to go through the lesson after this part. We are going to have a brief explanation here. There are 5 basic types of adverbs. Right. Now, when we are learning about adverbs, we used to learn just about adverbs. But in this part, we are going to learn more about adverbs, and there we are going to identify 5 categories of adverbs. Or what are the categories what we can learn under adverbs? And this says there are 5 basic types of adverbs in English language. There are 5 types of adverbs in English language, and we can name them. The first one, adverbs of manner. The first one is adverb of manner. Adverb of time. The second one is adverb of time. Then adverb of place. The third one is adverb of place. Adverbs of frequency, that is the fourth one what we are going to learn, frequency. Finally, about degree, adverb of degree. So, these are the 5 points. These are the 5 points what we are going to learn under adverbs in this lesson. Okay, let's move to the first one. Adverbs of time. First, we are going to talk about adverbs of time. We are going to start from an easy one. Right. Now, we will see what is adverbs of time. An adverb of time provides more information about when a verb takes place. Here, under this lesson, we are learning an adverb of time provides more information about when a verb takes place, when it has happened. Any action, when has it happened. So, under adverb of time, we are talking when a verb takes place. Adverbs of time are usually placed at the beginning or end of a sentence. Normally, when we are making sentence, there are structures. We can't just join all the words to a sentence and we can't say that. So, when we are talking or when we are writing a sentence, there is a structure or a flow of a sentence. So, here they mention adverb of time are usually placed at the beginning, either beginning of the sentence, before starting the sentence, or end of the sentence. You can't just put adverb of time middle here and there, either beginning of the sentence or end of the sentence. When it is of particular importance to express the moment something happened, we'll put it at the start of a sentence. Right, let's see. Examples of adverbs. Let's go through some examples of adverbs of time. Here they have mentioned never, lately, just, always, recently, during, yet, soon, sometimes, usually, so far. When we are reading these words, then you can identify that we are talking about time. Never happens. That means we are talking about the time. Then usually, again and again, it's happening usually. So we are discussing about time. Recently. Then always, just, during, yet. From all these words, we are talking about the time, and these words are called adverb of times. These are the examples for adverb of time. So you can just keep those words in your mind. Let's move to the example sentences. So far we have found 12 grammar mistakes. So far we have found. What is the verb here? Found. We have found. We have found how? So far. So far. So it gives the idea about the time. So far we have found 12 grammar mistakes. I haven't been going to the gym lately. I haven't been going. How I haven't been going? I haven't been going lately. Then I'm underlining the adverbs here. So we recently bought a new car. How we bought a new car? Bought is the verb here. How we bought a new car? We recently bought a new car. So using these words, these adverbs, I have given more idea, or I have modified the verb given here. Here we can see the verb, this one and this one as verbs, and using these words we have modified the idea of the verb. So we call them adverbs of time. The second one, adverbs of place. Adverbs of place. Right, we'll see what is adverbs of place. Adverbs of place illustrate where the verb is happening. If any action is happening, where it is happened. So that's what we are discussing under this topic, adverbs of place. Adverb of place illustrate where the verb is happening. Where? The place. That's why we are calling adverb of place. It's usually placed after the main verb. Now it's different than the earlier one what we discussed. We earlier discussed about adverb of time, and we discussed that beginning of the sentence or end of the sentence we can use the adverb when we are describing about something using adverb of time. Here it says it's usually placed after the main verb. We know when we are reading sentences, when we are talking about something, there may be a verb. Where the verb is, we can describe using this adverb. So there we have to place adverb of place after the main verb. We have to use it after the main verbs. Let's see some examples for adverbs of place. Examples of adverbs of place. Here, in this place. There, far away, far to this place. Then nowhere, anywhere or everywhere, out, in, above, below, inside, outside, into. From these words we are talking about particular place. So these words we can take as some examples for adverbs. Then these are the sentences. We went into the cave. We went where? If I ask such a question, where we went, then you can give the answer, we went into the cave. So from this word into, we describe or we give another meaning, more information about the verb. So we can say we went into the cave. Here into is the adverb because it explains, it describes about the verb here. And there are bats everywhere. Everywhere. See, everywhere. Not only in one place. And there were bats everywhere. Where the bats were? They were everywhere. So, it describes about the verb. One day when my dad wasn't paying attention to where he was going, he walked into a wall. One day when my dad wasn't paying attention to where he was going, he walked, that is the verb. He walked into a wall. He walked into a wall. Where did he go? Into a wall. So, from using these words into, we describe about the verb. Then the last one. There aren't any porkmen here. Let's look somewhere else. There aren't any porkmen here. Let's look somewhere. Let's look where? If I ask such a question, let's look where? Let's look somewhere else. So, that is the adverb here, and this is about adverb of places. Here you can see examples, and the highlighted words is used as adverbs of place in this part. Adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner, that is the third one we are talking about. Let's see what is adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner provide more information about how a word is done. When we are using an adverb of manner, when we want to give an information, more information about any verb, that how the verb is happen, how the action is happen. When we want to give more information about how a verb is done, how the action is done, then we can use adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner are probably the most common of all adverbs. We can see that in many places, so that is very common. They are easy to spot too. Most of them will end in ly. You may have an idea, if adverb is there, the word ends in ly. But all the adverbs, they don't finish or don't end using ly. Most of the adverbs are there, they use ly when they are ending. But there are some adverbs that those adverbs don't end in ly. So, let's see some example here. Examples of adverbs of manner. Neatly, neat, neatly, a manner. Then slowly, slow, slowly. Quick, quickly. Sad, sadly. Calm, calmly. Polite, politely. Loud, loudly. Kind, kindly, and lazy, lazily. So, these are the manners and these are the adverbs of manner. And mostly you can see all of these given adverbs, they ends in ly. But don't think that all the adverbs ends in ly, there are different adverbs. Okay, let's go to an example. The young soldier folded his clothes neatly in a pile at the end of his bunk. How he folded them? How he folded his clothes? He folded his clothes neatly. He has done the action neatly. So, we call them adverb of manner. The action, how the action is done. How the verb is done there. How the action is done. The action is done neatly. The clothes are folded neatly. So, that is the adverb of manner. I politely opened the door for my grandmother as she stepped out of the car. How she opened the door? How she opened the door? The question is there. How she opened the door? She opened the door politely. So, here politely is adverbs of manner. It comes under adverbs of manner, because we talk how the action is done there. Then the next one. A fat orange and white cat rested lazily on the sofa. A fat orange and white cat rested. How they rested? How they rested. The question, how? We are talking how the verb is done. So, how it happened, how it has happened is lazily. lazily. So, how the action is done? Lazily. So, from here you can understand adverb of manners. We discuss how the verb is done, and here we discuss about some examples and sentences as well. Let's move to the fourth one. Adverbs of degree. The fourth one, we are talking about adverb of degree. Adverbs of degree explain the level or intensity of a verb. Level or intensity of a verb, adjective, or even another adverb. However, we are using adverbs to describe or modify verb, adjectives, or even adverb. But here, adverbs of degree is used to explain the level of the action or intensity of the action. Let's see some example. Example of adverbs of degree: almost, quite, nearly, too, enough, just, hardly, simply, so. That is the level of that action. From these words we are describing about the level of the action. Let's go to the examples. Can I come to the movies too? Can I also come? The meaning you can ask like this: can I come to the movies too? From the word to, we describe about or we give a modification to the verb. Then, aren't you hungry? You hardly touch your dinner. The level of the verb, the level of the action. It's touch, how? It's touch hardly. So, here we are talking, we have used here adverb of manner. Adverb of degree. Here we have used adverb of degree. I am so excited to see the new James Bond movie. I am so excited. I am excited how? What is the level of that feeling, the action? I am so excited. So, from the word so, it is the adverbs of degree. We are just describing about the verb. So, this is about adverbs of degree. Adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency, we will see what is that. Adverbs of frequency explain how often the verb occurs. How often, how many times, whether it is rarely or how the action is done. So, how often the action is done, how many times, how often it has done. So, from adverbs of frequency, adverb of frequency, we discuss or we explain how often the verb occurs. They are often placed directly before the main verb of a sentence. That also we can use directly after the main verb. Let's see some examples. Examples of adverbs of frequency. How many times whether any action happens. Never, never happens. Always, again and again it's happening. Rarely, it's happening rarely. Sometimes, normally, seldom, usually, again. When we are reading these words, you can identify that we are talking about something, any action that happen in whether it is the time period of that, whether it is happening very quickly, laterly, or rarely, always, never. From these words we discuss about that. Let's go to the examples. I rarely eat fast food these days. Fast food, or we call them junk food. Junk food. How often? Here I said how often. From adverbs of frequency we talk how often that action is happening. So, here we can say I rarely eat. How often I eat? Rarely I eat. How often? How many times? I rarely eat junk food or fast food. Then Tom usually takes his dog for a walk before breakfast. How often Tom takes his dog? How often? How many times? Usually. Usually, again and again. Again and again he used to take his dog out. So, how often this action is happening? It's happening usually. So, this word usually gives the idea about like adverbs of frequency. Then they always go to the same restaurant every Friday. How often do they go? How often do they go to the restaurant? They always go to the same restaurant. How often? always. So here from these highlighted words you can get an idea about frequency, and these words are called adverbs of frequency. Right. From these parts we have discussed about adverbs. Adverb, what is an adverb and what are the categories of adverbs, and we discuss about some example and how we can use those adverbs. So I hope that you got an idea about adverbs. Now let's move to the activity of the textbook. Activity 3. The words underlined in these sentences are used incorrectly. The words underlined in the sentences are used incorrectly. Rewrite the sentences correctly. We have to rewrite them. We will see. Plants grow quick in the rich soil. Plants grow quick. So how can you use this like this? Plants grow quick in the rich soil. No, this we have to turn into an adverb because this word describe about the verb. This word describe about the verb. So in this case we have to use it as quickly. We have to use it as quickly. Then only the correct idea given. Plants grow quickly in the rich soil. Some factories discharge their waste direct into water bodies. Can we use it like that? The underlined word, is it correct there? Their waste direct into. We have to turn that into an adverb again. So we have to write it as directly. We have to turn that word into an adverb. I usually use recycled paper for my greeting cards. Here, I usually. Is this sentence correct? Again, we have to turn this into an adverb. So, I usually, we have to turn into usually. Usually, I usually use recycled papers for my greeting cards. Okay, let's see the fourth sentence. Our project was successful because everybody worked efficient. Here, see the word underlined. Our project was successful because everybody worked efficient. Can we use this word as efficient? You have to turn that into adverb. So, you can use it efficiently. You have to turn that word into an adverb. Okay, then let's move to the last part. Awareness programs on public health should be conducted regular. Can we use it like that? Regular. Can we finish that sentence like that? Or can we use this word regular? No, we have to turn that into an adverb. So we can use it or we can turn that into an adverb using ly. So, awareness programs on public health should be conducted regularly. So, these are the changes what we have found in these sentences, and we have corrected them, all these incorrected part. So, in this lesson, this grammar part, we learned about adverbs and the categories of adverbs. I hope that you got a clear idea about that. So, you can just find more adverbs and you can try to categorize those under these topics what we have learned today. See you in another lesson.